Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this morning. Today we have our NFL offense and defensive prospects of the week. Excuse me, got a little tongue tied there. But if you like the video today, please come and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. I'm your host, Mr. Football Vincent Turner, and joining me is the young lady that's been covering all these prospects and giving us the NFL offense and defensive prospects of the week, Mrs. Rhonie G, coming to us live out of the 615 Nashville, Tennessee, RP line. How you doing this morning, Mrs. Rhonie G?
Doing well.
Okay, let's get right to it. Who is your NFL offense prospect of the week?
Okay, that's Matt Corral. That's our NFL draft offensive prospect of the week. He's a quarterback out of Ole Miss. He is a dynamo at quarterbacking who traveled from the West Coast to play football for the Ole Miss Rebels. Mr. Corral had an outstanding 2021 season. He averaged 8.7 yards per completion with 20 touchdowns and 5 interceptions while hitting on 67% of his throws. Mr. Corral will be a high draft pick in the 2022 NFL draft. That's our prediction.
Well, when I think about this young man, Mr. Matt Corral, I think about one thing. You think about the tradition at the quarterback position at Ole Miss, because Ole Miss is in Oxford, Mississippi, which is about 55 miles south of my hometown, Memphis, Tennessee. So I know a little bit about Ole Miss football. So when I think about this young man being under the center, he might be the best that's been there in a long time. And you think about the tradition at Ole Miss at the quarterback position. Yeah. Eagle Day, 1955. Jack Gibbs, 1916. The great red freckle, redhead out of Drew, Mississippi, Archie Manning. Then you got a guy that followed him in the 70s, Norris Reese. Then, of course, the young man out of Louisiana, Mr. John Forcade. Yeah. But this young man right here, this young man, when it's all said and done, and of course, don't let me forget Eli Manning. I'm sorry, but this young man is going to make his mark coming out of the West Coast at the next level in the National Football League. Now, Mrs. Rhonie G, who is our defensive prospect of the week?
Okay, that's Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle from the University of Georgia. Mr. Wyatt was a serious impact player in his first 2 years with the Bulldogs. He started only one game, but played 25 games. He seemed to be mid-round selection in 2021. However, he returned for his senior year, which was his best yet. He earned second-team All-American honors while gathering 7 tackles for loss this season. Devontae Wyatt has firmly inserted his name as a potential first-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft.
When you look at the University of Georgia and their defense, a lot of people say it might be one of the best of all time in the top 5 in college football. And, of course, when you look at it, they got several players that might go in the first round with N'Kobe Dean, Lewis Sand, Jordan Davis. I think Quay Walker's got an excellent chance to end up in the bottom of the first half. But when you look at Devontae Wyatt, he was like the unsung hero. A lot of people really didn't watch him, but he was consistent week in, week out. And I heard this from several people who's close to the National Football League. They said that when it's all said and done, he might be a better prospect than the young man that they're talking about, Jordan Davis. So when I think about Devontae Wyatt, he came back, could have won in the draft last year, but came back and had an outstanding senior season. We know what happened to the University of Georgia. They won the national championship in football. Yeah. So all I got to say about Devontae Wyatt is all the Georgia fans tell me when I see him out in public, Georgia, oh, Georgia, like the great Ray Charles, Georgia, it's a sweet time to be in Georgia. Go Dogs. Your final words this morning, Mrs. Rhonie G, about these 2 great young men that you had as your players, your prospects of the week.
Well, they have been both impressive up to this point. We look forward to them being even more impressive as they head their way to the NFL. So looking forward to seeing them.
So we'd like to say, if you like the video today, please come in and share. We surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. Special thanks to our producer, Mr. Logan Landers, for making it happen. And special thanks to the lovely and the outstanding Mrs. Rhonie G, coming to us live from 615 in Nashville, Tennessee, Opry Land. Thank you and God bless. And we'll surely appreciate it. Got 2 weeks before the NFL draft, Thursday night, April the